excited. I got a double thing here. I got to turn off my other phone. Perfect. So welcome. We've got Senator Nina Turner. We've got candidates for Dayton City Commission. We've got great speakers tonight to learn about issues that are important to us regarding justice reform and bail reform. And so we're really grateful for everyone showing up here tonight. It's going to be an exciting night. We've got lots of opportunities for you to volunteer. Please drop your name in the chat and tell us where you're from. And we're really excited that you're here. We've got Senator Nina Turner who's going to speak. We're going to introduce one of our famous neighbors for Nina. We've got opportunities to phone bank with us, to drop lit, to donate money, whatever it is. We are grateful that you're here. Welcome, Michael, Germantown, Maryland. Thank you so much for being here. You're the one we're waiting for. That's great. Everybody here who's showing up, we are so grateful. We need to learn about the issues. We need to work for the issues and get these candidates on board. I'm Kristen Kranz. Some people know me as Kiki from the call team. Both for Nina Turner and in the past for Bernie. So thanks everybody for being here. Welcome Nate in Columbus. Welcome Inez in Elyria. Hannah from Dover. Elaine from Ward 1. Now the numbers are going to really be rolling by very quickly. Taylor from Lima. Michelle from Vermilion. Hey, you guys are the ones we've been waiting for. Thanks so much for being here. Debbie from Cincinnati. Welcome. Span, Ohio. Glad you're here. And John from Cleveland, thank you so much for being here. Maria, Cleveland, and cool, Michael, who's in Maryland, grew up in Westlake. So thanks everybody for being here. We have a jam-packed meeting tonight, and keep dropping your name in the chat. We got Mike from Parma, Vanessa from Dayton. Thanks so much for being here. We are really excited to have everyone here so we can talk about the issues. The more we learn about the issues, the more we are able to help make our world a better place. And we hold our representatives accountable for the issues that are important to us. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm Kristen Kranz. Some people know me as Kiki, and so glad that you're here tonight. Our Revolution Ohio is doing a lot of work, especially to get Senator Nina Turner elected to Congress. So we're going to hear from her tonight, and we're going to tell you all about the efforts that are ongoing. We literally have over 1,000 volunteers from across the nation who have signed up with our grassroots efforts to get Nina Turner elected. And that is super exciting because we all know that she's the one who's got the experience, the commitment, and the compassion to do the job, people before party. And we're really excited that she's going to be sharing her energy with us tonight. Everybody knows that Nina can bring the energy up, 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 and it gets us all motivated to do the work. So keep signing in the chat. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. We have a jam-packed schedule tonight. Let's see who else we've got here. Kendall from Lebanon. Gloria is in the house. Yes, Colleen from South Euclid, Mary Lee in Erie. Greetings from Central West Ohio, from Steve. And there's our Gloria from Euclid, Brian in Asheville. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. Really, you are the ones that we're waiting for. When you show up, when you step up and start learning and start doing the work, making the phone calls, dropping the literature, talking to your neighbors, it makes a difference. So thank you so much for being here, being willing to learn, being willing to talk with others, being willing to listen. Welcome, Christina from Cincinnati. Get me a bowl of Skyline if you would, maybe some graters to top that off. We really need that. I was in Cincinnati for like 5 years, and that's what I miss the most. Anyway, we got Nathaniel from Lorraine. Welcome, everybody. We have a jam-packed agenda tonight. Thanks, Christina. Get me some food. Feed me. Really excited to have everybody here tonight. Our Rev Ohio does a lot of really good work, and we're really grateful to be so supported from the Our Rev National program. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that's all about and hopefully get everybody on board with making a monthly donation. We're going to talk about that more specifically in just a few minutes. And thanks everybody for being here. Kim from Greene County, Seth from Clark County, Michael from Columbus, thanks for being here. Keep signing in the chat, everybody. And we are going to get going here. So, as you can see, we have a jam packed schedule with our special guests. We've got Nina Turner for Congress, who will be speaking. We've got two our Rev Ohio endorsed candidates for Dayton City Commission. We have Shanice Turner Sloss and Jared Grandy. Thank you so much for being here. And we're also, most importantly, going to be discussing bail reform in Ohio. And we have Nate Brown from the ACLU and Taylor Pennington from Free Billy and Kelly Burden from Branches. So thanks everybody for being here. And what I found most important is as we learn about these issues, it just helps us be stronger citizens and help us stand up for what we need to be fighting for, because there are so many issues. So now I want to talk just a little bit about our 5-point plan to organize. Thanks, Diane, for next slide. Oh, that's me. So we've got our membership drive, which is just $5 a month. So really want you to support this. We're going to be dropping links in the chat all night. So pay attention to those. They'll be coming up. But if you could become a card carrying member, just like me, thank you very much. It's actually a very cool card. And it's very plasticky and awesome. And so $5 a month gets you this card. And really, it makes a difference. We need the money to do the work, as we're trying to make the phone calls. We need to buy the lists and various different things that we need to do. So please, please, please click on that link right now and get yourself signed up to make a $5 donation. And when you sign up now through our Rev Ohio, that money comes back to us. So that is very helpful. And really encourage everybody to do that. Thanks. And then we've got our 5-point plan to organize, which our Rev National, this is the 5-point plan to win, where we work hard to organize progressive powerhouses, hold politicians accountable, elect progressive champions, fight for progressive policies, and build a progressive party. So that's the current plan, and we are working hard to do that. So again, we can't do this work without you. So look for that link in the chat to donate. Thank you so much in advance. And so we're going to get rolling, and I'm going to introduce an amazing person who's going to introduce an amazing person. And Regina Adams is one of our Revolution members and one of our neighbors for Nina. And so grateful that you're here and doing the work. And she's got the energy tonight. Welcome, Regina. Take it away. And you're on mute, Regina. There we go.
Yes, hello. Yes, I do. I have all that energy from the supporters. They're phenomenal out there, and it's been exciting. I have been following Nina for about 2 decades. I have watched her on different various platforms and churches, and she has been fighting the good fight ever since. So it's been with pleasure and joy that I get to represent her. Um, and our revolution has really been phenomenal with their response. When I decided to step into this ring and take on this deal, I contacted State Coordinator Diane Morgan, where I pitched my ideal to her. That evening, the following morning, I had a call from Lisa Rapowski, who had all of the literature and everything I needed to take it to the field. And I did that. And so, with that, I've been able to distribute more than 1,200 pieces of literature within 4 days. And it was phenomenal. The people out there are excited, they're fired up, and it has really been a pleasure and an honor to be into this campaign. So, without further ado, it is my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Nina Turner.
Welcome, Nina Turner. And I think she's sitting logged on. Thank you for being here, Senator.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. It's such a pleasure to join our Revolution Ohio in the house. So proud of you all and everything that you are doing. Our Revolution National, I was just on a call with them earlier this week. And now our Revolution Ohio, where you are all holding it down. Let me just tell you something. That sticker, can I just say, ooh, we, hello, somebody. It is absolutely fantastic. It was certainly my honor to donate to our revolution. And I can't tell you how many people I heard from about that sticker who also donated to get that sticker. What an awesome idea. Just thank you so much for what you are doing. You all are on the front lines for progressives all over the state and all over this country. I know that our revolution, you all work in conjunction with each other, conscious mindedness happening all over. So proud of our revolution, Ohio. You all, you just make me, I mean, I can hold my chest out knowing how active our revolution, Ohio is. You all are one of the strongest our revolution chapters in the entire country. No surprise there. It is Ohio. So the race is going very, very well. Hopefully, people in Ohio have gotten the chance to see the commercial that came out today. It was biographical, and baby, it was fire. My phone has been texting off the hook, ringing off the hook about that commercial. One of the reasons why this campaign was able to have a commercial of that magnitude is because of the donations coming from people just like you. Please continue to push, to give your time, your talent, and your treasure to this campaign and also to our revolution. If anybody is on this Zoom, on this webinar, and you are not a member of our Revolution Ohio, you need to join right away. Don't miss the fun. Don't miss the action. Get in on it. You don't want to be left behind. Please join. Any movement, it needs people, it needs conscious minded people to stand up and to continue to push. This morning I had a chance to be on CNN, and I got a chance to talk about how the movement is moving the current administration to the left. You are part of that. And because of the progressive policies that we are pushing are not only popular, they are necessary. And we're seeing that more and more and more with the polling, with the conversations that we're having neighbor to neighbor. We know that the vast majority of Americans, no matter what end of the political spectrum they are on, they are solidly with us in our efforts to continue to change the material conditions of people in this nation. I have often said that this race in Ohio 11th, it is not about me. It is about the people that I will have the privilege to serve again in elected office. It is about this great state. It is about this nation. And by extension, it is about the world, the entire world. So I thank you so much, Our Revolution Ohio, for pouring into this campaign and also to other progressives together with these hands. As you've heard me say many, many times, we are going to continue to change the body politics in this country and force it to bend. Force it. It's not going to happen by accident. It's going to happen by force. Force it to bend towards the will of the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class. We are standing in that ready position for people who do not necessarily have a voice, do not necessarily have the access to use that voice. We know that the pandemic has definitely put so many people in survival mode. I am saying to you, I'm checking in for the people who are checked out, baby. You are checking in for the people who are checked out. So thank you so much, Our Revolution Ohio, for everything that you are doing and for being a part of this great and necessary movement. Go to ninaturner.com. You can sign up to volunteer on shifts for texts and for calls and also for door to door. We have started our canvassing. We are doing it safely, COVID safe. I hope people get their vaccinations. Please do that. We have to continue to tame COVID. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Kiki, Dr. KK. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much, Senator Nina. And with these hands, we just heard that you opened your campaign offices in Akron and Cleveland. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's happening there and what we can find there?
Yes, absolutely. You will find the team there, the Akron team and the Cleveland team. We did open both offices. We are the first candidate to open offices, and we are the first candidate to open offices in Akron. I don't think Akron has ever had a campaign office open. So I am very proud that we have done that. You can go to our website and find the addresses. Doc, I don't want to get the wrong addresses, but please come to the office, help put together signs, do some call time, sign up for shifts to go and knock on doors. But yes, we have offices open in Cleveland and in Akron.
Wonderful. We are so excited to do this work. And I have to tell you that as I call for both our Rev and with the Nina Turner campaign, these are the easiest phone calls you could ever make, because here we have a person who has the experience, the commitment, and the compassion, who is there for the people. And it's just fills me with joy to do this work for you, and really, as you said, for us, for our communities, for our nation, and for the world. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Doc. I hope I'm going to put it in the chat, but I got the office address for Akron, and it's 1 Merriman Avenue. Again, that's 1 Merriman Avenue. And hopefully the address for Cleveland will be coming through. But before I get off the call, I will definitely put those addresses in the chat.
That's wonderful.
Oh, I got it, Doc. And the Cleveland address is 16400 Miles Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. Again, that's 16400 Miles Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, Diane has put them in the chat. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Our Revolution Ohio, for all that you do. You have been a tremendous blessing to me, to this campaign, and to our movement.
Well, you are doing the work, Nina. I see you popping up everywhere. So please make sure you rest and take care of yourself, and everybody continue to be safe. Thank you so much. So as many of you know, Nina's got her campaign up and running. We've got the office is open now, ninaturner.com. But the unique thing is we also have our Revolution Ohio that is doing the work at a grassroots level. And we are symbiotic with the campaign, doing the work. We're all paying attention to what each other is doing, and we're augmenting each other to just have double the power. So in May, as Regina announced, she's one of our neighbors for Nina, and we're so grateful to have her here. So we're going to start hitting the doors in May. So please do get vaccinated. This is going to help us continue to be able to do the work. Get your comfy shoes, and we're going to get out there and knock on doors. We'll be dropping links right now for the upcoming canvases that will be coming up. They're going to be all over Congressional District 11. There's going to be a special link that for those that live in District 11, how do you become a neighbor for Nina? How do you become a leader in your neighborhood? And please join us for the phone banks. So I'm the head of the phone bank team, and we phone bank every Wednesday and Sunday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We train you how to do this. It's probably the best thing that you can do right now from the comfort of your home. And it is a great way to learn how to succinctly talk to people and listen to people and what the issues are important to them, and then feedback why Nina Turner is the one to do that work for them. So we will train you. And if you have any anxieties about talking to people or about knocking on doors, this is just a fabulous way to learn how to do it. And again, we will provide the training. So all these links are getting dropped for multiple canvases, phone banking, Neighbors for Nina. And wow, I'm getting dry mouth just talking about all the opportunities. So again, with our Rev Ohio and with ninaturner.com, we're going to elect Nina Turner to Congress and get another a strong woman as part of the squad. All right. So thank you. Our next guest, we've got 2 endorsed candidates for Dayton City Commission, and our first one to speak tonight. And we've got a jam-packed schedule, so she gets a full 2 minutes. Oh my goodness. So Shanice Turner Sloss, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kiki. I have to say it is a pleasure to go after my distant cousin, Nina Turner. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I have to say as well, it is an honor and a privilege to be endorsed by Ohio Rev. It is truly an honor, and I'm excited to be here this evening. Let me just give everyone a little bit about the city of Dayton and what we're faced with right now. The city of Dayton is about 52 miles north of the city of Cincinnati, and the city of Dayton has, like many of the Midwestern states, we have cities we have suffered from just poor leadership, bad policy. And so what we are right now, there is a different energy in the air. And so myself and Jared Grandy, we're being the progressive that the city of Dayton is in need of and in thirst for. So what we're looking at is making sure that we have representation for the working families. We're pushing that bold progressive policy that is needed in the city of Dayton. I'm very excited about this race. I'm excited about this race for so many reasons. For one, I have Ohio Rev on my side. For two, I have an awesome candidate that's running right with me, Jared Grandy. We both have the experience. I'm a former city of Dayton employee. I'm a mother of three, and I love the city of Dayton. We want to get in there and do the work for the people in the city of Dayton. For far too long, we have suffered from the status quo who have held us back and held us behind. So this is the time now that we're giving voice, we're giving power to the people so that we can push those bold progressive policies forward so we can really see that what we can do collectively to make Dayton a great place to live, work, and play. Please make sure that you sign up, join the campaign, ShaniceForDayton.com. Find out more about my candidacy. You can also join Ohio Rev for phone banking. We're knocking doors the safe way. We're also doing lit drops. We have fire behind our candidacy and behind our campaign. We are so excited. We have been endorsed by a number of progressive organizations, and we just really going to push for that change. So please make sure you sign up, help us out. Even if you are not in the Dayton area, you can still help us out with donations, with phone banking, whatever it is that you can do. Make sure you like my Facebook page as well. We're on all of the social media outlets. So again, thank you. It's an honor being here. And again, this candidacy, this campaign is about the people, and we're putting people in their places and making sure that they are in fact a priority. So thank you. I really appreciate it, Dr. Kiki. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much for stepping up. I mean, it's so important that we get progressive candidates that are focused on the issues and focused on what the people need. Watch for these links that are going to be dropped in the chat again. And we are phone banking for them as well on Sunday. So you can come to our phone bank and phone bank for Dayton as well, and canvassing ongoing and donation links being dropped. So lucky to have two progressive champions running for Dayton City Commission. And our next guest, also endorsed by our Rev, is Jared Grandy. Take it away, Jared.
Thank you, Dr. Kiki. I am super excited about this endorsement. To be endorsed by Our Revolution Ohio is a lifelong dream. I've maintained this from the beginning. Progressive politics is the politics of the future. It's time out for those centrist policies that don't help people. Me and Shanice are running to implement policy that reflects the love of humanity, to create budgets that reflect our values. A lot of people don't think they're progressive, but if you love people, if you love your neighbor, you're progressive. I'm running to help end a carceral system that doesn't work for anyone. Just last year, I was the community police relations coordinator for the city of Dayton, and I got to witness up close the arrogance of white supremacy and a system that has kept its knee on people's neck for far too long. And we have a municipal budget that funds this carceral system, but doesn't fund our youth and rec services, that doesn't protect our housing stock, that doesn't invest in our young people. It's time to flip that dynamic around. I am so excited for Nina Turner and what she's going to do in Congress. And I think it's me and Shanice, it's time for me and Shanice to do our part and do what we can in Dayton, Ohio, run in Akron, run in Cleveland, run in Summit County, run all over Ohio. We have to do our part to contribute to this progressive movement, because this progressive movement is what's going to bring the humanity back to this country. It's going to breathe life into the soul of this country. And we need to get a shock so we can revive the heartbeat of this country. And I'm excited to be a part of this movement. I'm excited about this Our Revolution Ohio endorsement, as well as the other progressive organizations that have endorsed me and Shanice. And we promise that we'll do our part to make this state a more progressive state. You know, they're trying their hardest to make this state a Jim Crow South state. They're introducing bills for voter suppression. They're introducing bills to limit our First Amendment rights. We have to keep our foot on the gas and drive this city forward. So I appreciate being in the work with you guys. Please donate. Visit the website, jaredfordayton.com. Visit my social medias at Jared for Dayton on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I thank you all, and it was an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. You are speaking my language. I always say to people, I don't want any label other than humanitarian, and let's talk about the issues. So perfect. Thank you so much. Remember, election day is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So early voting has begun. And again, we're phone banking. And I just also want to mention that we have also, hey, Cincinnatians, we have endorsed Aftab Puravel for mayor of Cincinnati. That primary is also May the 4th, and we've also got a phone bank for the RREV Cincinnati members on this Wednesday. So please join and get those calls out. And we're also going to drop a link that shows Aftab's One Cincinnati Economic Recovery Plan. So check that out. And now issues are what we're going to focus on. So again, we've got great candidates, and again, step up and be that candidate. But we've got to focus on the issues, and the deeper we learn about them, the better we can fight for them. So tonight we are going to talk about bail reform in Ohio. And our chief speaker tonight is from the ACLU, who's going to start us out, Mr. Nate Brown. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the welcome. And real quick, because I forgot to include it earlier, I'm throwing in the chat here 2 sites that are good to check out once the meeting is finished tonight. One, OH Bail Reform is our main campaign site. It has some great graphics that really walk you through a flow chart of how the bail system works, or should I say doesn't work. And then the second is a very in-depth report that the ACLU commissioned and released just a couple months ago about the financial cost of the bail system, the way it currently exists in Ohio, and it's staggering. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So could we go ahead to the next slide here? Thank you. And we'll go ahead too. I need a better system, sorry. One more forward, there you go. And one more, we'll skip that for today. We don't have time, yeah. There we go. So when we're talking about bail is a relatively complicated subject, but essentially what we're talking about here is some sort of guarantee that somebody who's being accused of a crime, that they will appear in court, that they will fulfill their part of that process. And Ohio's money bail system has effectively created a 2-tiered wealth-based system of detention, meaning there's a system for people who have the money in their bank account, and there's a system for everybody else. They are unequal. The access to freedom is based on wealth when we're talking about cash bail. Locking up individuals who are unable to afford bail is the leading cause of mass incarceration in Ohio. I'll repeat that again. The leading cause of mass incarceration in Ohio is the inability to afford bail. Not because somebody is more violent, not because they are some sort of extraordinary flight risk, but because they don't have enough money in their bank account. Yeah, I'm seeing somebody in the chat is saying me. Yes, there are so many people who've been affected by the system. Next slide, please. So bail, like we're talking about, bail is release. Bail is getting out of jail while you're waiting for your legal process to play out. Next slide. So bail is not, real quick, it is not punishment. It is not a means of coercing pleas or a waiver of rights. It is not a means to recover debts. It is not an artifice used to give the appearance of community safety. And it is not meant to detain. These are all kind of misconceptions that float around. Bail is none of these things. The problem, as I've said, nationally, 6 in 10 people in jail are being held pre-trial. 60% of people in jail in America have not been convicted. 60% of the prisoners in jail in this country have not been convicted. 5 out of those 6 are there because they can't afford bail. Unconvicted people account for 95% of jail growth since 2000. So we think about the 90s and the tough on crime era. This is one of those consequences. The number of people who have yet to be convicted in jail is staggering. This is a great graphic right here. It walks us through using a hypothetical set of 100 people the path from arrest to pretrial detention. So 100 people are arrested, they're all charged and booked, and then bail bond is set, meaning somebody is either denied bail because they are a demonstrated violent person or they are a demonstrated flight risk. That's 4 out of an average 100 people. So that's 4%. Another 34% can't afford cash bail. The amount set was too high. So 34% of people are in jail because they can't afford the amount that was set. Another 38 people are able to pay money bail and are able to go home while they wait for their legal process. However, we're often talking about thousands of dollars here. So people are going into debt, people are selling cars, they're selling houses, they are asking friends and family to come up with money that nobody has. Finally, the last 24% or 24 people in this hypothetical example get some other terms of non-financial release. Next slide, please. Of course, there's money behind this. There's almost always money behind a rotten system in this country. The commercial bail bond industry makes $14 billion each year. 25,000 bail bond agents operate nationwide. And of course, they're underwritten by 10 giant insurance companies. It makes $2 billion in profits annually. That's $2 billion in profits on keeping people locked up despite any demonstrated risk for violence or flight. They charge a non-refundable 10% premium on bonds, meaning that the money that people put up for bail, the 10%, means they don't get it back in most situations. That money is gone, even if the person is innocent and has done nothing and ultimately exonerated. That money is gone out of their pocket forever. Of course, we've got the big corporations behind the scene, but you all probably already understand that. We'll keep moving. Just to the next slide. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And so consequences of what we're talking about here. People who can't afford money bail are locked up. What happens when somebody is locked up in jail? They may lose their jobs, homes, families. It's incredibly difficult when you're locked up in jail to meet with an attorney, to pay for an attorney, to contribute to your defense. People who can't afford cash bail, and therefore remain in jail, are more likely to be convicted than the people who are able to pay their way out. And what we're talking here is hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars that is being extracted, is being extorted from people that should be going to things like school, clothes, food on the table. Next slide, please. A couple really familiar, sadly, examples of victims of the cash bail system. Khalif Browder in jail for being accused of stealing a backpack. Next slide, please. Sandra Bland, $515 cash bail in jail. Both of these lives, they're representative of untold thousands and millions of others over time. They were unnecessary tragedies. So what else is lost when somebody is held pre-trial? How is the community harmed by this system of cash bail? These are all questions to keep in mind. Next slide, please. And keep going. So reform, right? We need to do something. So we're talking about systemic change to the current system. We want a fair process. We want fair release. We need people to have effective pretrial services. We want accountability, and we want real understanding and collaboration from the powers that be, either locally at the county level or at the state level. Keep going, please. We need elected officials to do their job, especially local and state actors. This isn't so much of a federal issue. We want to monitor the bail practices of judges. Currently, they're not required to record their reasoning. So if a judge decides to keep you locked up unless you pay $3,000, they don't have to say why. So again, we want pretrial services like text reminders. which are just as effective as cash bail. Next slide. We want to reduce the scale of the criminal justice system, of course, with this campaign. We want to divert resources from incarceration to helping people. We want to demand accountability. Next slide, please. So this campaign that the ACLU is assembling, we have local work ongoing. And just 2 weeks ago, we had our first statewide bail meeting. So as an organization, we are formally taking the issue on, and we are inviting partners and volunteers to help lead our campaign. Essentially, we are asking that unless somebody is demonstrated violent or a flight risk, they need to be released within 48 hours. It's that simple. There is no months in jail, no years in jail, potentially. You are home within 2 days, because that is as long as could possibly be just. We recommend policy changes here. Again, eliminating wealth-based detention, eliminating cash bail. That would reduce the pretrial population in Ohio jails by 71%. That's 9,000 beds that are empty. Those are 9,000 beds that used to be occupied by unconvicted prisoners who are now home with their families. And as I mentioned in that report earlier, we're talking somewhere between $200 and $264 million in savings. This is money that could be put back into schools, services, actually helping people. But instead, we're spending it right now locking up people who have never been convicted of a crime. Next slide. So we've got 3 avenues of change here. There's one, the Supreme Court, which can create different rules. There is local judges who, again, have power to change rules and how things are practiced in their county, because there are very few guidelines. Or there's the legislature, who we are going to ask to change the law to put in rules that are fair and reasonable. Next slide. Of course, we've got the General Assembly. We all know how that works. They unfortunately are who we have to deal with here. Next slide. These might be some familiar players depending on where you are. If you see your representative here mentioned, that means you're being represented by somebody who is in a key seat, somebody who may be able to tip potential legislative efforts one way or the other. Next slide, please. And so we're organizing. That's the only response. It's the right response, and we are doing it now. We are building teams. We are uniting those teams, and we are coordinating. Next slide, please. So we've broken it down in the ACLU. We've got kind of 5 different tiers of involvement. We've got research. People are leading on organizing and planning. People are recruiting through one-to-ones. People are doing outreach to partner organizations. And then we've got people who are, of course, working on data and tracking, because that is so important these days. Next slide. So, like I said, we are in the beginning stages of this campaign. And so we're going to be talking to Our Revolution, the organization, about ways to potentially collaborate. The Ohio Organizing Collaborative, we're talking with them too about coming together. Local effort is ongoing and can and should be supported. But since we're training people on the issue of bail and they're learning how to tackle it at home, we can tackle it together at the statewide level too. And so if you are interested, please feel free to reach out to me, or if you're specifically in Northern Ohio or Southern Ohio, you can reach out to Greer or Malekta. We are the 3 organizers on the ground. I would encourage you to reach out to me, because I'll know where you're coming from, and we can talk and catch up, and I can plug you in to our teams. And like I said, check out some of the sites I posted, the resources, learn more about it. We also did a podcast a year ago at the ACLU called The Steep Road to Freedom. It's excellent. And are there any questions or thoughts here, real quick?
I think what we'll do is we'll have people post their questions in the chat. Let's
Totally. And I didn't know how much time. I forgot to set my stopwatch here.
no,
or
we're
start-
good. We're at 13 and a half minutes. So
About that.
yeah, so you're right on target. Let's go ahead and have people post their questions in the chat, and we'll see how many we can get to after we talk with our next two speakers too. Thank you so much. I think what's fascinating is I'm in healthcare, and I keep saying if we don't get profit and greed out of healthcare, we'll never fix it. And I think the same thing is going for the prison system. All this money is going into somebody's pocket. So,
Greed is the root of all evil, as they say, right?
amen. Thank you so much for being here, and stick around. People, drop your questions in the chat. We'll see what we can do to get to them, and some of the speakers can actually start answering them in the chat too. We'll see how much time we have. So to add to this amazing conversation, we have two incredible activists, and they're going to tag team together. So I'm going to introduce them both right now. The first is Taylor Pennington, who is a wife, a mother, activist, and creator of the Free Billy movement, which has been created to bring forth the exoneration of William Pennington and address all issues that contribute to the mass incarceration epidemic in America. And we're also going to hear from Kelly Burden from Branches LLC. Kelly's career work up to this point has been mostly focused on re-entry efforts. And she's had a recent realization of the impact of the pretrial on the entire system, and she's redirected her efforts towards bail reform. So Kelly and her team have always believed in second chances, but now first chances are the priority. So welcome, Taylor and Kelly. We're going to let you guys tag team and share with us efforts and issues and teach us something. And I know there's issues going on in Lima that I think you can share with us as well. So take it away.
Absolutely. I'll start. First of all, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I am super stoked about being able to be on a panel with Miss Nina Turner. I she's like my best friend in my mind. So that's really, really exciting to be on a panel with her. So thank you guys for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Taylor Pennington, and as Kiki introduced me, I am the founder of the Free Billy movement. The Free Billy movement was started to raise awareness to the wrongful incarceration of William Billy Pennington, who just happens to be my amazing husband, who's also been wrongfully incarcerated for the past 11 years. So as I began to raise awareness around his case, I met a lot of people who were also in the same situation, and I just grew this burning desire to figure out, how do I help keep people from going through what we are going through and what my husband is going through. So as I look at the entire system of mass incarceration and I try to figure out where can we begin to eliminate some of these issues, it went back to the pretrial process. It went back to the lack of adequate attorneys, the lack of awareness, not knowing your rights, and the lack of bail. So one of the things that leads to mass incarceration and wrongful incarceration is what's called the plea deal trap, which is a lot of time influenced by staying in jail for a number of days. I believe the statistics are 3 days can completely ruin somebody's life. You can lose your job. You can have healthcare issues. All of these things that just transpire just from spending a couple days in jail. So imagine spending months in jail. You're almost willing to do whatever you got to do to just see your way out of that. So that leads to wrongful incarceration. So in that, as I look at my town, Lima, Ohio, which is a very rural and conservative area, as I look at my town, I say, okay, what can I do here in my city to begin to implement this change? So I went through a series of processes, which was one, connecting myself with allies, which Miss Kelly Burden is one of my my teammates on the campaign here in Lima. I wanted to connect with people who were working in the system, who knew about what was actually going on behind the scenes, and people that I could connect with. Then we began to schedule appointments with judges, with prosecutors, have those one-to-one conversations with them, find out why why they do things that they do, why they choose to set these outrageous bail amounts, right? So it's kind of two parts of the field that I'm playing. I'm an activist on the outside, you know, rooting and telling them to change it, but I'm also working on the inside, having these conversations and these dialogues to really figure out how these type of things happen. The next thing we're working on is research, data collection, and Nate will tell you from the ACLU and anybody who's worked in criminal justice is the data is very, very hard to come by. So we are working on that data collection piece, but I'll give you some numbers just to put a little bit into perspective here in Lima. At the beginning of 2020, at the onset of the pandemic, our Allen County Jail released 2/3 of the population who were considered nonviolent and low risk offenders. That's 2/3 of the county jail was released because they were considered nonviolent and low risk. So it just leaves the question, why were they held in there anyways, right? So now that the pandemic is somewhat lifting up, you see those numbers beginning to rise again here in Allen County. And that's where Kelly and I have began to do our hardest work to really keep those numbers down. So I will pass it off to Kelly. Just a few things we have coming up is our Mother's Bailout Day. That is happening on May 9th at 2 p.m. in front of the Allen County Jail. We have a donation link for anybody who's willing to just donate. Obviously, we need money to bail out people, and it gets pretty expensive, right? I just had a close friend who was held on bail for $100,000, and she was held for 4 months before she was ever sentenced. So we need money to be able to bail out those mothers on Mother's Day. That is also going to be our statement call to our county to let them know that we are not tolerating this anymore in our community. Also, I didn't provide this link, but I'm going to give it to you guys. It's a petition. It's a petition link to sign my husband's petition. You can text Free Billy. That's one word, Free Billy, to 66866, and that brings up his petition. I'll also throw it in the link, and I will let Kelly take it from there.
Honestly, I don't have a whole lot more to add. I just want to say, initially when I found out about or heard about bail reform coming, I attended the Pretrial Justice Institute's fundamentals training. It's a phenomenal training. From there, I got connected to, just all kinds of experts. Everyone sends you to another person. We've worked with, the ACLU. They've assisted us with power mapping, very easily accessible, and giving us ideas on how to approach certain individuals. I'm not considered a system actor, but I have access to those people. So Taylor and I, in our combined efforts, it can be pretty powerful because of the work that she can do in getting the community together, and me trying to convince from within its importance. We have started to put together a PSA. We're just trying to get the word out and let people know about the impact of bail in our community. And then the next thing that we really are focusing on is training. We found out very quickly that training and education information is critical, with the system actors and community members as well. And once people know about it and understand its impact, we've seen a lot of buy-in, honestly. So that's kind of where we are right now, is just working on training and educating and utilizing these wonderful resources, the NAACP, the ACLU. We have a local reform group. We just try to connect with anybody who will listen and spread this message. And our hopes are just that Allen County does it right. Bail reform will happen, but we want them to do it the right way. And we have certainly identified that it's very important for that community, or our community especially.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and sharing this is an obviously very important issue that damages so many lives, so many injustices happening. A couple questions have popped up, probably primarily to Nate, but anybody can answer this. Do other states have precedents in eliminating cash bail?
Yeah, so Illinois actually just did that. I think a month and a half ago, something like that. Month, 2 months ago. Yeah. So in California, yeah, of course. In Illinois, looks a little more like Ohio electorally, and so that gives me hope. But this is one of those issues where I think politicians are coming together on both sides. I'm seeing this on the death penalty repeal campaign that I'm working on, but also with criminal justice reform. I think they come at it from a different perspective than I do. It's more about cost savings for them in a lot of cases, but at least they are listening and they seem to be recognizing the ridiculousness of the system. And so, even though there aren't a ton of states that look exactly like Ohio does right now that have had this happen, it's incredibly possible.
So one of the other questions that popped into the chat is this something that we're going to be battling as on a state level or on a county local level?
Excellent question. So we've had ongoing work for about 3 years now up in Cleveland, and then in Cincinnati for a year and a half. They've been working with judges and working at the municipal and common pleas court level to try to change rules locally, and that work is going to continue. However, uh, now that we're recognizing what we believe is a real opportunity in the state house, in the legislature for legislation to come down in the near future, we are trying to unite those local efforts. With people like in Lima with Taylor, up in the Youngstown area, etc. We're trying to pull together and train that experience on where, right now we're looking at the ground, right? But we're still looking and thinking about bail. We want to look up at the state level, the same people with the same experience, but now we're looking at different targets. Because if we can succeed together as a state, and that means all of Ohio, every single one of our, 88 counties will now have the rules changed. Otherwise, if we're just successful locally in Cuyahoga or Hamilton, then those are a lot of people being helped, but then there's still millions who are dealing with the old system.
Okay,
So
and another
statewide.
question. Thank you. And another question popped up. How do people get out if there's no bail?
Nate, if you so one of the things that we like ultimately you look to develop a pretrial a program essentially that just assists with supports that get them to court, like transportation or daycare or employment. They are working out rescheduling of their court. A lot of times they just don't understand the court process. They don't have notification, haven't been notified properly. So it's those agencies act almost like bail bondsmen without any money involved, though, because money really, they end up finding out, has no tie to getting people there. It is unnecessary. It doesn't do anything to affect failure to appear or community or safety community issues either.
Well, I want to say, Taylor, thank you so much for stepping up and, of course, sharing your story as you do this work. I think we as activists know that you can present facts, and that's not what sways people. It's the stories, it's our personal stories. So it really takes people to step up and do the work and pour your heart and soul into it, to do that work. And so thank you. And I'm so sorry about the tragedy that you and your family are suffering. Diane posted a question that correlates to telling your story. Are you looking for people to testify at the State House at some point to share their stories?
Yes, absolutely. At this point, we are taking people who have compelling stories that can go to the State House and testify. As you mentioned, it's one thing to tell the stats and the facts, but when people tell their stories, and this is what I have noticed when they go to the State House and do those testimonies, the legislators put their phones down. They listen. They tune in because you're able to speak to someone's real personal experience. So yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to tell my story. And we are absolutely looking for other people who have experiences in this to come and tell their story.
Definitely
That's
at the State House and just like on social media, on websites, we are trying to compile a library of people who have been affected by the bail system so that there is no end to the conversation and the examples we're putting forward.
Thank you so much. Diane and Taft, let me know if there's any pressing questions that I've missed in the chat. And I thank everybody for teaching us and guiding us and again, empowering us to step up and do the work. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. And I wish we could dive in deeper because I'm sure we could learn so much. So remember, there's all these amazing links in the chat. You can also go to rrevohio.org. Put it in the chat and you'll find all the links there as well. So just some reminders. Again, thank you everyone for being here. That's the most important thing. Show up. You know, the people that show up do the work, and we need you, and we've been waiting for you. So thank you so much for being here. So just reminders, phone banking for Nina Turner and for Dayton. Join us Sunday night and Wednesday night. It's fun. We join on Zoom. We teach you. We train you, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. I love phone banking, and so again, those links are going to go up. And there's also phone banks for Cincinnati mayor and events for the Lima mayoral forum. And look at all these events. I'm just going to read through some of them, but you can read too as well. So we've also got multiple canvases for Nina, and go to our website to sign up for those. It's going to be in Seven Hills, Cleveland Heights, Euclid, Cleveland Ward 3 and 15. The weather's finally nice, thank you, but get vaccinated, wear your mask. We're still going to be careful, and we will get through this. There's going to be a healthcare justice walk fundraiser on May 22nd in Lakewood.
And then my question was, do we know what the other side is doing?
Yeah. Oh, Jared, I'm going to ask you to mute. Thank you. And then we've also got upcoming conversations with Justin Bibb on May 9th, Laura Rodriguez Carbone on May 23rd, and also on that same day, Ross DiBello. And then don't forget the Monday night call, always great speakers there. And then really important, the membership drive, please donate. We can't do the work without the funding. And so $5 a month, spare the latte tomorrow, and give us that $5 a month. And if you can afford more, that's great. And really the card is super cool. I love my card. So please donate, and please, and some people can't, and I get it. So make a phone call, do some texts, do something. And you showed up tonight, and that's important. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We've got the Ohio Revolution pages there. And we're going to post those links as well. And all our meetings are streamed and replayed, so you can watch them later if you have to miss it, and catch up with what you've missed. And please, again, join our Rev Ohio. We need you. We have a lot of fun. It's family. And so I love progressives. I love humanitarians because we love each other, and that's why we're doing the work. And so here we are. We like to end our meetings with a little chant, and in honor of Nina Turner, I've expanded it. So we're going to say, with these hands, when we organize, we win. So if my panelists would unmute and everybody join in, because we're really grateful. So with these hands.
With these hands.
When we organize.
When we organize.
We win.
We win.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.